Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the show. That's right, the Big Thing Show. We got a lot to talk about, man. Yes, 2 out of the 3 of us watched Bad Batch, and we're all caught up. How about that? You can guess who didn't watch it, and I'm going to tell you that you're probably right. Ahmed best. He's the best. And he's going to be in another Star Wars thing. That's right. I didn't know Angelica Houston was in Bad Batch. How about that? There's another movie coming out, and it's called The Mandalorian and Grogu. And now we know that it's coming out whenever it's coming out. But we also know it's shooting in Los Angeles. Is that bad news? I think it is. Talk about that. Netflix is upping their prices again. And I don't think it'll make a lick of difference. I think they could charge $75 a month, and people are still going to stick with that service. So we'll discuss that and more. Hit that button. What does that button do? It subscribes you to the channel. We are now at almost 131,000 before the end of February. That was the goal, 131, 132. So we hope that you'll join us. Apple Podcasts, Spotify, anywhere podcasts are found. We're starting a brand new channel, a UAP news channel that's coming out. There's the link for that if you want to join that, if you're part of the UAP part of it. If not, don't worry about it. Talk about the movie news and all that. It's me, it's Mike, it's Steph. It is the big thing. Here we go. What's up, everybody? Welcome back. It is the big thing. It's myself, Steph Sabraw, Mike Kalinowski. Hey. Hold on one second. I want to do...
I love your camera. It makes me look so tan.
There you go.
Yeah. Spicy white, baby.
It's good to have you here, both you guys. Okay, so before the show started taping, last night what I did was I said, okay, I know people want to hear us talk about Bad Batch, and we said we were going to get to it. All right, so here's what I did. Last night, or 2 nights ago, whatever, I said, guys, Bad Batch, we got to watch it. And I got a response, and somebody watched it and somebody didn't. I'm going to reveal the person who didn't watch it. Here we go.
Me?
What a surprise.
Wait a second. I'm going back to these receipts here.
What a surprise.
Shut your mouth, Steph. You're usually on my side. Hold on.
What a
Let me
surprise.
get these spectacles out here. Let me see.
And the crowd...
You said...
And I said, you're a loser.
Hold on a
What a
second. I'm
loser.
going back here.
Steph, he's a loser, isn't he?
I mean, you should have watched it.
Loser.
Hold on a second.
Anyway, loser. All right, so Steph, we watched it.
Yes.
You and I. I'll tell you, this really good season so far.
Yeah.
Really good season.
I really liked it.
Yeah.
You said nothing. You threw me under the bus with
I said
Miguel
Bad
Fernandez.
No, not in the
How
group
did I throw you under the bus? He watched the show.
And no, when he said the group text, hey,
Oh.
to watch it. There's no group text to watch it
No,
here.
no, it's a separate text to you.
Oh, separate text to you.
No.
I see you guys got a separate
Did
thing
I
on our
separate
show.
text to
That's
you?
exactly
was it,
right.
Was it,
Yeah.
was it just to you?
Yeah.
Oh,
Exactly.
perfect. Okay, so there you go.
Exactly. Exactly.
That makes sense. Okay. All right, I stand corrected. Does it?
But that reminder really helped me.
Oh, sorry, Mike. It was really good, though.
It was.
It's darker.
Yes.
And they're actually telling a story. And
Yes.
even I was like worried because the second episode, I'm like, here we go. We're stuck on a planet. We have these new. It's going to be a side adventure. It's not a side adventure. They're all related to the overall plot, and even this one from last night, like links back to the entire thing. I thought it was. I think it's really good, and it ties into the cloning aspect and how they're going to. Look, JJ put them in a hole with the whole Emperor Palpatine returning, but I think they're doing what they can out of this thing.
Yeah. And then can we discuss something?
Yeah,
that's
we'll do spoilers. We're going to spoilers. So
Okay.
Mike doesn't matter. He's not going to watch it. Anyway. Go
Right.
ahead.
So the evil new guy who has all the funds from the Empire. Mm-hmm. He
Doctor.
said
He showed up at the end of
Right.
Season 2.
he said that she has the M count. Mm-hmm. So is she force sensitive?
It seems like she's got midichlorians or something
Yeah.
along the lines. Yeah, I think that's why they're whatever Snoke, because they're going to
Right.
use it for Snoke. I think.
Yeah.
And because all these other, it's nobody has it, so they've been trying to test, and they finally. And I love that whole thing where they keep throwing the blood out, and then finally she gets tested, and it's like, oh shit, like,
Right.
don't shoot it down. Like there's, and then I didn't. Who did you think was? Did you think the Emperor was going to show up, or did you think it was going to be Vader?
I thought it was gonna be the Emperor.
Okay.
Yeah.
It was the only reason I thought Vader is because there's a trailer, I guess, with Vader in it.
Oh, okay.
And I was like, oh, okay, this is when he shows up. And then the Emperor gets on. I'm like, oh man. And the fact that it's actually Ian McDermott is amazing.
Yeah.
It's amazing. I did not know Angelica Houston was in this show. I guess
Wait, who is she?
She's the queen. When in the second episode when Hunter and Wrecker go and basically ask for help about where to find things. She's the queen.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
She's like taking her role from John Wick, basically.
Wait, that's so cool.
Yeah, it's
I
great.
like that little scene. Yeah, I'm really liking the season so far.
Me too. And I think it's one of the best start of a season so far in Bad Batch because like I said, it's got it starts with the story and it just carried on through the whole story. So did you like the Bad Batch at all when you watched it?
It would be like every 5th episode. I'd be like, man, if this show was this would be great.
I felt the same way about the show in the past. So far, they've stuck to this is the story we're telling. And it's the full story all the way through.
I think for me, the problem was it just seemed like around that time with Star Wars, every single thing was the adult hero with the child. Mm-hmm. That Mandalorian,
Right.
Obi-Wan became that. It
Right.
was just like, all right, I can't. Is okay.
Yeah, I agree with that.
I'm
But I think that she has Omega has kind of come into her own this season. Like
Okay.
She's not like kind of that bumbling kid. She does.
I really like Omega.
Yeah.
And Harry's actually watching. He never watched the other seasons.
Okay, and you watch this
And
season?
he watched this season. He's like, I like her about Omega because she's a cool character.
Yeah.
She's really capable. I like what they're doing with her connection to all the animals too.
So that's interesting. Does he dig the show so far?
Yeah.
Yeah. And as someone who's watching it for the first time and just kind of that says a lot to you because I don't think you really need too much
Other than to understand
their relationship.
that and like Camino, what Camino was
Right.
in general.
Right.
And
right.
that's it.
Yeah, I mean there's definitely stuff that you pick up if you watch the other seasons. And even the relation like I think that one of the best moments actually is in the end of season 4.
Oh,
What were you gonna say?
The end of this episode.
Episode 4.
Yeah, it like actually kind of got me teary eyed.
Yeah, yeah.
To see them all reunite.
Yeah, so basically, again, spoilers for people who have seen it. They reunite because what's his name? Bullseye? Not Bullseye. What's his
Crosshair.
name? Crosshair. I was.
Oh, hold on a second. I do know this about Crosshair.
Yeah.
I've heard about this. He's got a redemption arc, huh?
Yeah, but it's
It
not.
was so
no,
slow.
We just talked about that.
No,
Remember
no.
we said
This
that
is-
for the 2 seasons lead up. We're like, this motherfucker better not be redeemed.
No, it's well. It depends on how it's written.
But you had a
It depends
problem
on
with
the
everything
written.
we do in Star Wars, redemption arc.
Yeah, but there's a different type of redemption though. There's different when everybody goes to the dark side. He can go to the dark side. He had this is the kind of redemption arc I'm okay with because of the way that it's the way that they wrote it. I'm okay
He
with
didn't
this.
go to the dark side.
Yeah, he didn't.
I'm not saying the dark side. I'm just saying redemption arc.
Yeah, but I don't. To me, it's always like, oh, they went to the dark side. Now they go back to the good side, and then it's the same thing. You know.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, look, there's an argument to be made there. There's no doubt they do it all the time. But I thought that it's better than the Reva redemption arc. It's better than the Kylo Ren redemption arc. It's done well. If it's written well and it's done well, it's part of Star Wars. It's just when you can see it coming a million miles away and it's not written well. This is like they didn't just like embrace like they're giving each other the stink eye at the end of the episode, and even like I love like he's got a great relationship with her, and you can tell that the way like. He is still thinking the way that he does. Of just like we got to get the hell out of here, and she's like, "You can go if you want. I got to do this." And he's like, "Well, I'm going to leave," and then he realizes not. I loved the Imperial in this one, the overweight Imperial that was just like basically on his own riches and just a pure scumbag, but like it just a good. You could see him in like Andor.
Yeah, definitely. I like that they're not all the same. Like they're not all gonna want to just serve the Empire. A lot
Right.
of them are serving because it serves them.
Yeah, I thought it. Look, I agree. People were talking about this was a really good season so far. Absolutely. It did take me a while to finally watch it. Or other things that I was watching that I was like, okay, I'll get to it. And I said, I wanted to at least get to it by Wednesday so we can talk about it and say whether or not I like it or not. And Steph and I watched it and we dug it. Whether or not you can catch up because they're only a half an hour.
Really, it is actually, even if you're just doing laundry or something, it's slow paced, but in a good way. I'm going to butcher her name, Salma Lou.
Oh, right. Yeah, she's great.
Her voice is so sick.
Yeah, it's really good.
It's so cool.
And I like the same, and the doctor's got a creepy voice too.
Yeah.
You made your choice. Now I have all the assets from the Empire. And it's like, geez, creepy. Anyway, so I throw it to you guys. Are you watching this show? Do you like this show? Do you not care about it? We're going to stay with some Star Wars stuff. All right, Star Wars Newsnet, everybody. The Mandalorian and Grogu will shoot in California for 92 days. Film gets one of state's largest tax credits ever. It's bad news all the way around. Not for largest tax credits, but The Mandalorian and Grogu is just a few months away from starting to shoot, and Disney Lucasfilm received a major boost in their financial prospects for the movie, which Jon Favreau will direct. As broken down by Deadline, the film will employ 500 crew members, 54 cast members, 3,500 background players during its 92-day shoot. To compensate for the job creation that the massive production will represent, the California government is giving back $21.755 million in tax credits, one of the largest sums ever for the Golden State. No actors have officially announced their return, though Pedro Pascal is expected to reprise a voice role, if not be on set at some point. Yeah, one-day shoot, probably. This will be the first time a Star Wars movie is fully shot in California. A Collider report indicated that Lucasfilm is planning for a June start for the film, and if we take production's word, cameras would roll on June 17th of this year. On this year? Then why isn't it coming out next year? Anyway, 92-day shoot equals over 18 5 A 92-day shoot equals over 18 5-day weeks, which means the production is targeting a mid-October wrap, 4 months in total. That's a long shoot, especially considering that previous seasons of Mandalorian have shot about 6 months, and the final runtime of the footage should be 3 times larger than the feature films. We've also heard from Katie Sackhoff that Favreau and Filoni like to film much longer scenes to later trim down in the editing room and reach the fast pace we've seen on the final cut of episodes. But a feature film typically takes much longer to shoot. Think of The Rise of Skywalker 6-month production, though we assume they'll be using the volume a lot. That's where I've got bummed. They may be thinking of shooting more outdoor scenes to achieve a more pristine cinematic look than they can do in the volume. They will have plenty of time to edit and finish post-production on the film. The Mandalorian and Grogu is not expected to bow in theaters before 2026. All eyes will then turn to a Daisy Ridley-led Star Wars movie from Sharmeen Obaid-Chinoy, which, if certain rumors are to be believed, regarding a meeting between Angela Bassett and Lucasfilm, could be settling its cast in motion. Okay, so here's the reason that I go, I don't know how this is like the best news, is what Miguel said. That was Miguel Fernandez, by the way. But at the end of that is the volume side of it. Because they're shooting in L.A., they're getting the tax credit because they know we can shoot this cheaper. We'll shoot everything in the volume. We'll get a tax credit for it. We'll save some money. Bob will be happy. We can... The budget side of it, where when you look at like Gladiator 2 costing $300 million, and then there's Joker 2, which is costing over $200 million or more, whatever it is, like you're gonna scale back and you're gonna make a cheaper one, okay. But the volume thing scares me because I just think of the Benny Hill scene from Obi-Wan. And Leia's running through the woods and Flea's chasing her, and they still, for some reason, thought that was a good idea to keep in. And it looked so fake. It looked so terrible. So I wonder, I don't know, man. But they say Miguel hints that maybe there's some locations that could be used. What do you think, Steph? Does it concern you at all that it's LA, or am I making nothing out of this?
No, I think it does. It's hard because we just saw Andor, and I think why it looked so much better is because it's on location. Yeah. And I just been watching movies lately where I just saw Troy, and you see like so much of it's on. It looks so much different to see real people on a real set. And so there's a way that they can do it. Obviously, there's episodes on the volume that I love, and I can't really tell the difference necessarily, and it looks really good. But I think when you're overutilizing it, I get concerned. And then I just saw, do you watch The Last Airbender?
Not yet.
Okay, well, just not talking about the show, but just shots in the show. There's villages where they show so many people. And, lately my problem with Mandalorian is that they have these villages of people that have like 20 people.
Right.
And it just, to me, you can't cut costs on that. Because then I'm like, okay, it's a village of 20 people. Are you guys incestually having children? This doesn't even make sense. Yeah. It takes me out of it.
Yeah. With the movie, they're going to be able to do more. But you look at something like House of the Dragon. House of the Dragon used the volume. but you couldn't even tell.
No, it was
when
so
when they did it, and
Yeah.
they didn't do it all the time. They did it sometimes. When it relied, the first season of Mandalorian did it pretty well. It just makes me nervous that they're doing it in LA because they have the volume there. Mike, I know that you're definitely concerned about this.
My first thing was like, I love that they're shooting in LA for the keeping the production
Yeah.
here, because LA is one of the most expensive cities in the world to shoot in. We're a
anything.
town built on entertainment, and yet they make it impossible to shoot here.
Yeah.
That's why everyone goes anywhere. But I heard Favreau won't shoot outside of LA.
Oh, really?
That was someone said like he will not shoot outside of LA anymore. He wants to be here with his family and everything. But anyway, yeah. When I heard that, I was like, okay, it's gonna look like a soundstage movie.
Yeah.
As LA, like for television, we've got so many locations. You can make downtown LA look like New York or big cities. We've got desert, we've got mountains, we've got
Yeah.
snow. But I don't know if that leans itself to Star Wars. Like,
I mean, look, they. I mean, well,
Yeah.
wait a minute. You could,
but it's
location-wise,
they're saying they're shooting LA. They're not saying they're shooting in California. California, we've got diverse landscapes.
right.
But they said they're shooting in LA.
It said that did it say LA or
thought he said LA.
California? Hold
I
on,
thought he said LA.
Double check because that's a great point.
Yeah, that is.
It's a great point.
Like you upstate New York, I mean Redwood Forest for Return of the Jedi.
no, it says California.
Okay.
So it says California for 92 days. So that's
Okay,
so
maybe.
Look. I have no problem with them shooting in California. My thing is, even I don't have a problem with them shooting in LA because you look at what Robert Rodriguez did when he put it on set. My concern is that they're going to get so reliant on. Well, we have the volume right there. We can just we can shoot everything there. It'll look great. We can make it look even better. Look what we did for like Lion King. Look what we did for Mandalorian. That's what makes me nervous.
Yeah, someone made a good point they were talking about the other day. Is like the actors, you can tell they've only got like 5 feet to move.
Yeah.
I think for Mandalorian, maybe for season 1, why it works so, especially it works so good for the ship cockpits. I think that works incredible.
Yeah.
For sure.
And a couple scenes where you're coming out of ships like Mandalorian and that season 1 episode where he came out of his ship and you couldn't tell. It was just him walking on like a conveyor belt.
Right.
But when you've got action that's happening in it, like
The Boba Fett looked real bad.
yeah. So
I'm not in the Mandalorian, in the actual show Boba Fett.
Yeah.
Like, this didn't look good. But so I mean, I'm not saying don't use the volume because I think it's an amazing tool.
Totally.
I just think don't get reliant on it. Like there's times like you're right, like the spaceship stuff. It looks
Cockpits.
I would much rather them do that because it looks the way that that's all set up and like. I just if they have a thing where they're like, no, let's actually shoot that on location. Let's do that here. If there's some things, it's just it's a matter of being reliant on it.
I have a feeling it's going to be like any tool in special effects. Like after Jurassic Park in the mid 90s when CGI was coming up, like every movie had to CGI everything.
Right. And 3D when that all went down.
But now they're like, we'll use it sparingly. We're not going to make our movie ridiculous with CGI, so everything that looks ridiculous. And it's just another tool in their arsenal that they use sparingly. I think for the TV shows it makes sense.
Yeah.
Because it's time consuming. Your TV shows are on a much quicker turnaround.
Budget.
Yeah. But for a film,
I know.
I don't know.
I know. It's like
I don't know.
I'd love to. I'm hoping that the blend is right. I'm hoping it's 70-30. 70 on the location side of it, 30 on the volume. It won't be.
No way.
I'd be curious. I'd be curious what the sequel trilogy, what their, and I don't think the volume wasn't available then, but like what portion of on-set versus soundstage work, because all three of those films, whether you love them or hate them, had an incredible feel.
Yeah.
They had that massive, big budget movie feel.
Sure. And you
Even Solo did.
You wanted to have that for sure. And look, it's a Star Wars movie, and it's the first Star Wars movie
that's what I'm saying.
since Rise of Skywalker.
You can't feel like, oh, it's a. Okay, I'll say this. I remember seeing parts of the movie, like Sex and the City, the movie.
Yeah.
Did it feel
all shot in the volume, by the way?
I know. Did it feel like, oh, they got a little more money, but it's a longer episode of the TV show?
Yeah.
I'll tell you this. Did you ever watch Power Rangers? The original TV show, the shitty TV show.
A long time ago.
But when that movie came out, you're just like, oh my God, this is incredible, because they were on location in Australia. They had sets, better costumes. It just looked, it didn't
You
look
just
like.
don't want it to seem like an extended episode of the show.
Right. I don't want to go, oh, it's a 2.5 hour episode of what I can see on Disney Plus.
Right.
It's got to feel like a movie.
I agree. I think it does. And I think the way that you do that, besides just the film and the bigger budget, is you got to do locations. Are you guys with us? Are you against us? What do you think? Put the comments in there. Do you think that having it in California will make them reliant on the volume? Do you not care if there are volume? What do you think the percentage should be? Let's give a percentage of what it actually will be. I think it's going to be around 65. Yeah, I would say around 65-35. Is that right math? I think that's right math. 65-35 for volume over locations. What do you think?
I think 20% location,
Wow.
80% volume.
Wow.
I'm going even one. I'm going to say 85% volume and soundstage. They're going to do 15% second unit location stuff. I'll bet.
I think you guys are right, but I don't want to.
I'll bet there's never the full first unit on location anywhere. Especially Pedro. He ain't going to be on location anywhere.
He's going to Zoom call his
Is it Zoom
lines.
call?
Yeah.
And for his couple scenes where his helmet's off with Grogu, they're on the volume.
He's not going to be there. And if he is, it's like one day shoot when he's in between Last of Us and Fantastic Four. When's he going to be available to do it? And they're shooting. That's the other thing they said. So this is the strange thing, and maybe Miguel can clarify, and he can even you shoot me a DM, Miguel, and let me know. But like the way this report seems that they're shooting in June of this year.
That's what it sounded like.
So if it's usually only takes about a year or so, but I guess because they're shooting it, it's
Because there's going to be so much volume and effects.
well, he did say it's going to be a longer shoot,
Yeah,
right?
6
so if
months
it
or
wraps
something.
up, I mean, yeah. Well, I guess the answer is this: if they wanted to, they could have this movie ready by December of 2024, right? But don't
No,
or 2025.
okay.
December 2025.
yeah.
But the problem is, we've talked about this. Avatar.
Yeah.
So if Avatar wasn't there, then they probably would say, look, because listen, they go, we don't need, because if they're like, okay, well, when can you guys get this out? Realistically, we can have it ready by December 2025, but you got Avatar there, so we'll go for May. That to me makes more sense. That's probably what it is.
But
Yeah.
what is the eventuality that Avatar moves?
No,
Every
I don't
date
think
it's
so.
not
moved,
going
but
to.
every
Not this
date they've
time.
set, they've moved.
Not for the new one.
Even
That was
the-
for the second one.
The second one, but it wasn't like a pandemic thing because they were pretty much done. They're like,
Yeah.
yeah, we need a little more time. We're going to go whenever. And
But they
they're like-
already filmed.
They've already
we're
filmed a lot
already
of- yeah.
filming.
But they've
it.
already filmed a lot of 3.
No, that's what I mean. That's what I'm saying. The film, there wasn't a lot. Yeah, this
I'm
is
not
gonna
saying it
stick.
is, but I'm saying it could move.
Possibly, but I think it's going to stick. I think because they know, especially now, and they were unsure. Even though they were probably confident that it was a James Cameron movie, they were unsure, like everyone else was, like how that movie was going to do, right?
Yeah, they didn't know how the younger generation was
Right.
going to react to it because they weren't even around when the first one came
Yeah,
out.
good point.
What's
kid.
so crazy about that is when I remember, were you at D23 with me when they showed?
No.
So they showed the Avatar footage.
Way of
and
the
they
water?
Yeah, and they put like glasses on everybody too, and I remember everybody thinking it looked great, but it was the least excited out of the entire thing. Everything they showed, it was people were like, oh yeah, Avatar stuff was cool, but you would have never left that experience going, that's going to be the biggest movie of the year, one of the biggest movies of all time. I was excited for it because I love those movies, and you probably would have been pumped. But I'm telling you, it's so strange. They're not going to move that movie though, because because it movie did make so much money. It made so much that they're like, they need that win plus, and then they push Star Wars to May and then December. But they better, because Mandalorian, if that movie doesn't do well, it will. But if it doesn't do well, that Rey movie is going to be in serious trouble.
Yeah. Yeah, the Mandalorian's lucky though because they do have the kids.
Yeah.
The kids
Because of
love
Grogu.
Mandalorian
And Grogu. Yeah. And Grogu. Yeah. So anyway, all right, that's what we got there so far with Mandalorian. What do you guys think? Put your comments in there for sure. Before we move on, I want to tell you guys I'm so excited to be working with both TUSHY and both Blue Chew and TUSHY. Tell you about both of them right now. Here we go. This episode is sponsored by Blue Chew. Come on, let's do it. Let's talk about sex. Hey guys, remember the days when you were always ready to go? Everybody, you're like, yeah, back in the day, go whenever I wanted to. Well, now you can increase your performance. You can get that extra confidence in bed. Listen up, BlueChew.com. Blue Chew's no joke. It's pretty great. It's a unique online service, and it delivers the same active ingredients as Viagra, Cialis, and Levitra, but in chewable tablets at a fraction of the cost. You can take them whenever, daytime, night. You can plan ahead, be ready whenever that opportunity arises. And the process is super simple. You sign up at BlueChew.com, consult with one of their licensed medical providers, and once you are approved, then you receive your prescription within days. And the best part? All online. No visit to the doctor's office, no awkward conversations, and no waiting in line at the pharmacy. Blue Chew's tablets are made in the USA and prepared and shipped direct to your door in a discreet package. So, for me, yes, it works. And the thing is, you know, I didn't think I needed it, but hey, you try it for a month and you see, you love it. You could be missing out on the best sex of your life. I'm telling you. They always say first impressions are important. What about lasting impressions? Do it. Blue Chew wants to help you have better sex. They do. Discover your options at BlueChew.com. Chew it and do it. Love that. And we've got a special deal for our listeners. You got to try Blue Chew free, but you got to use that promo code BIGTHING at checkout. Just pay $5 shipping. That's BlueChew.com. Promo code BIGTHING to receive your first month free. Yeah, do you hear that? Free. Visit BlueChew.com for more details and important safety information. And we got to thank Blue Chew for sponsoring the podcast. As we get older, I'll tell you, the bidets. Oh, I love the bidets. I wish I got introduced to the bidet a long time ago with Tushy, and it is so what an invention. What an invention. At first you sit down and you want to feel classy. You want to show some class. You show some class by getting the bidet on your. I'm not gonna say it. I could have rhymed, but I didn't. It's lovely. It's absolutely lovely. So let me tell you a little bit about it, because the next time you're sitting down on the toilet to squeeze out a big baseball bat, I'll tell you what happens. Hello Tushy wants you to remember one thing. The time that you're spending scrolling on your phone, it's not giving you peace of mind. You know what it's giving you? Hemorrhoids. That's right. Men spend twice as long in the bathroom. This is fact. I go into that bathroom sometimes for peace, but I wind up sitting trying to get some business done. And it is the one leading cause of hemorrhoids is prolonged sitting on the toilet. That's right. If you wipe with toilet paper, it's only going to irritate your butthole. That's what it's going to do. The Tushy, it cleans your butt with a targeted stream of fresh water, eliminating the need for painful wiping. So I really, really dig it. And it just feels nice. Again, I feel classy. I'm not gonna lie to you. I feel classy. That's the whole thing. So Tushy Bidet cleans your butt 2 times better and gentler than wiping with toilet paper. For the rest of your life, you can leave the bathroom sooner feeling confident that your butt's actually clean. The bidet easily attaches to your existing toilet. You know how long it takes? Under 10 minutes. 10 minutes. I was going to say 20. It's not true. It took me about 8 minutes without additional plumbing or electricity needed. Every Hello Tushy bidet comes with a 30-day hassle-free return and a 12-month warranty. So stop wiping until you bleed. Come on. Join the 3 million butts who've already made the switch to Tushy. For a limited time, our listeners get 10% off your entire order when you use the code BIGTHING at checkout. That's 10% off your order at HELLOTUSHY.com, HelloTushy.com. Promo code BIGTHING. That's right. PLD said to me the other day, he's like, you put Tushy and Blue Chew back to back. I was like, absolutely. Why not? Tushy, the bidet, you need it. Get your tush ready to go. What, you want a bidet?
We have a sponsor that's a bidet now?
Tushy.
Well, let me tell you something. I'm not going to out him. But he's a fellow Schmodown personality, big personality.
Yeah.
He
Just
showed
give
me
all
his
the clues.
Yeah.
big personality, little fella.
Okay.
In the Schmodown, he showed me his bidet. It's insane. It's like he raves about these things. It heats your cheeks.
Yeah.
It's got the arm that comes up.
And this one
blows hot air on you.
This one is so easy to use, and you can install it in you want me to get you one?
Absolutely. Are you out of your fucking mind?
Okay.
Do they come in different colors?
I think that's a good question.
Get me a damn bidet. I'll hook that thing up. Tushy. I'll give you a play by. I've never used one.
All right, I'll get you a Tushy. Get you a Tushy.
Yeah, man.
And I'll get you some Blue Chew and Tushy. Look at that.
Wow.
Look at that. Mike, you're making moves here today. All right, let's move. We got another one. All right, let's stay with Star Wars, guys, because Ahmed Best. You guys know him. Jar Jar, no more. I think more people really liked him in Obi-Wan. I think he was great in Obi-Wan. I think he was really good in that. Well, Ahmed Best, apparently he's working on a new Star Wars project, guys. That's what they say. Our Dark Horizons. Ahmed Best, the actor who played Jar Jar Binks in the prequels, hints that he's returning to the role and to the franchise for a new project. In a selfie posting on his Instagram account, Best can be seen doing motion capture work for a project, one which he adds the hashtag Star Wars Jar Jar Binks Activision Jedi Sith Lord Kelleran Beck. Kelleran Beck was the Jedi Knight that Best was seen saving Grogu from Order 66 in a flashback scene from the 3rd season of Mandalorian. Oh, that's when it was. I thought it was Obi-Wan. Who the Sith Lord is that he's referring to is not known. The inclusion of Call of Duty developers Activision as a tag has quickly led to speculation that the filming is for a video game, be it an unannounced project or additional content for an existing game like the Duty franchise. Respawn's Jedi Fallen Order and its sequels, Jedi Survivor, have resparked interest in the franchise gaming potential, and Activision has some past history with the franchise. The franchise has collaborations with non-Activision titles in recent times, including the likes of Minecraft, Roblox, Brawlhalla, and Rocket League. Meanwhile, the original Star Wars Battlefront games are being released in a new collection later this year with new content and online multiplayer. Ubisoft also has Star Wars Outlaws due later this year. I think it's definitely a video game, but didn't they say that there's supposed to be a Mandalorian video game? I thought I heard that there was something. I thought there was a Mandalorian video game, and I totally forgot. You know what I realized, though, too?
What's that?
When I said that, did you guys remember that it was Mandalorian season 3, or did you think it was Obi-Wan?
I thought it was Obi-Wan too. I thought he dealt with Reva. I thought,
and then I realized
was that scene?
When they said that, I was like, "That's exactly right." It was Grogu. He's the one who rescued him. But when they say it, I remembered right away. But it's just like they all kind of blend together.
They do.
Yeah,
because it's every week and on top of each other, and all looks the same. It's
just, and again, there's
the problem.
The problem right now is I was thinking about this because I had a conversation when we did our live show with Roku the other day, and one of the great supporters of all the channels we've had, Tim Sim, wrote a thing, and we all agreed, Tim, myself, Roka, that Star Wars films are in a rough place right now. That's why they need one of these movies to hit because they're just in bad shape. Now, Tim was on a different side when it came to TV. He thought TV was flourishing and TV was doing really well.
Okay.
I don't feel that way. I said as much on the show because I think that when you look at a moment like this, that Ahmed Best moment was awesome. Yeah. It was a great moment. There's a lot of great moments in the television shows. There's a lot of really great episodes here and there. But like as a whole, like there's not the only show I think that was great. Well, Mandalorian season 1 I thought was pretty great. 2 was really good. And Andor was obviously great. Yeah. Those are the 3 that I say are great. Ahsoka to me is almost like one of those movies that I watch and I go, I really thought I liked it more when I saw it, and it gets forgettable the more I think about it. Obi-Wan was such a missed opportunity, and badly written. And Ahsoka was fairly badly written. That's when you were talking about before. Was like it's a good writing will get you that moment. So I don't know, Steph. Am I nuts with these moments?
No, I completely agree. I really loved Obi-Wan when I was watching it, but it's the same thing where I'm like, there's a few episodes where I'm like, yeah, those were great to me, and we'll maintain that. And then, but the overarching feeling I have is I don't feel like going back to it yet. But but who knows? It might change because I will say lately I've been like hankering for
a new thing, right? A new Star Wars? Is that what you're saying?
because Bad Batch was actually good. Little tickle for me. This is good. But I wanted to see Force Awakens again, actually.
Oh, okay. Well, you know what's...
But then I'm scared. What you always say, you know what's going to happen.
Next. You just know what's coming next. You know what's funny is that I think it's telling. You never talk about Ahsoka.
Yeah.
You never talk about that show. And you were she's your favorite character.
Yeah.
You were waiting for her to show up, and it's just kind of like, and when you watch it, because it was during the strike, so you didn't really talk about it with us weekly. But
I didn't even text you about it. That's crazy.
Ghosted me.
Yeah. I don't know. I think it was a mixture of Ahsoka being my favorite character and Rebels being my favorite animated show.
Yeah, right. And it just
so you were the target audience for you.
Yeah,
it was
fully.
It was like it just didn't have a lot. Too many calories. Right?
Yeah.
Too many calories.
I just didn't like the story told.
Yeah.
I guess at the end of the day.
Yeah, I think that's what it is. But Ahmed Best coming back for, I think, a game is great. They need to get their game division right now is kind of non-existent, and they have these other things coming up. So they definitely need a good boost. And and I'm so glad that I will say, and spinning it to the positive side of it, I am very happy to see that both he and Hayden Christensen are getting the love now. That because this guy was just brutalized.
Not his fault.
Not his fault, and brutalized, and that he was brutalized before there was even social media. Can you imagine?
Right.
Can you imagine
the power of that?
Oh my God! And so now, luckily enough, those people that would be tweeting at him grew up with him, so they love him. But
Yeah.
those people, if they got the movies now, would be going after him on Twitter. But
I think a game is cool.
yeah.
And it could be, he could be saying Jar Jar Binks, but it could be throwing us off, and it could be a Mandalorian Grogu game.
Yeah, it could be. Because it could be something.
And then him just a bigger role in it, or just one role in it.
Yep. So we'll see. I mean, how do you guys feel about Ahmed returning to Star Wars again? Are you excited about it? What do you also think about the what we're talking about with TV? Where do you stand on the TV shows with Star Wars? Do you think that they've been pretty good? You like what they're doing with them? Do you think keep on going because you're doing nothing wrong, or do you feel the way we did it? The writing needs to get a little bit better. It also shows, I guess, the accolade, because Amanda Stenberg was talking about the show, and they were talking about the excitement, which is good because it means that we're going to start hearing more stuff about the accolade. 'Cause it apparently comes out in June, is what they said.
Apparently.
Yeah, no trailer yet. When do you think we're getting a trailer for that one?
Okay, it's March, the end of March, maybe.
You think? I think you're right. I think March is could be a good time to get that. And if it is June, I think they said June, end of June, which is great.
Yeah, that would be awesome.
That is such. I heard the comments, I think, from Kathleen Kennedy about that show, which is like, well, they want to see how the time period is going to do. We've never explored this far back. What I'm worried about, I think it's a right way to look at it, honestly. It's like, let's see how it does. But what I'm worried about is if it doesn't do well, they're like, oh, no one cares about that time period. What if the show's just not done well?
Yeah.
What if you don't care about the characters? Don't take it as far as the time period goes. Take it as far as like how it's shot. If it's a really well shot show, really well directed, really well acted, and people aren't watching it and the feedback is, I don't care about anybody in this time period, I don't care about this time period, then maybe there's some merit to it. But the other side of it is it crushes. It does really, really well. It's the best Star Wars show that's put out there, and everybody wants to start making stories in that time period. That's my hope.
Yeah.
That's my fingers crossed. I'm still excited for the show because of the time period side of it.
Me too. Hopefully it'll be like Arcane, where they threw it out there thinking no one would care about it.
I love that show.
And then it's like the best show in so long.
Yeah, season 2 comes out this year,
Yes.
right? Oh my god.
It's
oh my
gonna
god.
be killer.
You still haven't watched that, huh?
No.
It's so good,
It's
Mike.
Yeah,
really
animated-
good.
animated?
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
really,
but
really good.
it's
What's it about?
Oh, it's too complicated
It's
to
too
talk
long,
about.
but
Oh, that's a good pitch.
No,
That's a great pitch.
but it's just too. I should say it's too dense to start saying the whole thing here. But it's really I can't remember who recommended it to me.
You have to give it the full 3 episodes, and
Yeah.
then you'll be like someone kicked your balls in a nice way.
Yeah.
Oh, man. I love a good ball kick. I'm just at a point, I guess. I just want to be excited for Star Wars again.
I know.
I'm not
Yeah.
excited for the Acolyte. I'm not.
Yeah, I understand
Because I'm
that.
like,
Yeah.
I get that.
You've been let down too many times.
not even a letdown. It was just,
Fine.
it's fine.
Yeah.
It's like pizza. It's never going to be bad. Sometimes it's going to be like, that was
There's better
It's
pizza.
that was
DiGiorno.
dough with cheese and sauce.
And you want to talk about great pizza? Let's talk
do.
about Dune Part 2.
Oh my
Now
gosh,
that-
I
but
can't.
We're back on this?
Yeah, because it goes.
I haven't seen it yet.
It goes back. No one has yet. You guys haven't seen it except
This
me.
weekend.
But what I'm talking about is what you just brought up, and I want to go at that point. Is that like right now I'm hoping that someone at Lucasfilm goes, all right, maybe just sticking to the old it's just for kids thing. It isn't really what we should be doing. We should try to take a more mature approach to this thing, and they won't. But make a few like this, because this is classic, dude. I'm telling you, this is some of the best science fiction storytelling ever.
I'm going to say something. I'm in the geist of whatever, movies and whatnot, but Godzilla -1. I had no desire to see that movie until the hype took over.
Right. And you love
And
it.
then I was like, I hope it lives up to it. Dune is the same thing. Like the first one's been on my thing
Yeah.
forever.
No, I
I
remember
love,
you telling me, yeah.
every member in that cast. My history with Dune is the the movie, and then the sci-fi series
Right.
with McAvoy.
Same.
And I was like, well, it's not really for me, but the hype for this movie and what everyone's saying, I'm tempered because I don't want to be let down.
Sure.
But I want to feel that way about Star Wars.
I know. I know. But I think
Highest rated IMDb movie ever.
Dune?
Dune.
Dude, I'm telling you, this movie, like, and I related to almost everything that you just said just then because I remember it came out in '84. It was right after Return of the Jedi, and I remember going, "Oh, another science fiction!"
And then you
thing.
see it, and you're like,
"This is
hell is this?
What the hell
Not
is
again."
this?"
I was a kid.
Still, you couldn't follow it, and even if you go back to watch it now, it's really, really dated.
The Bowie one?
Yeah,
Not Bowie. Bowie
Sting.
wasn't it. Sting.
Oh, Sting.
Yeah. He plays.
Which one did Bowie do?
Labyrinth.
Oh, Labyrinth.
Yeah. So.
Those are like the same to me.
Oh no, no. But I know, same era. But I
get what you're
but you can
saying.
follow what the hell's going on in Labyrinth and the
can.
other
Oh,
Dune.
okay.
Have you seen the original Dune?
No.
You don't need to.
I'm not going to.
So it's just not, especially after seeing what they do. And this is like Dune 1 and Dune 2 are really, it's like a 5.5, 6 hour film when you watch both of them. The Dune 1984 is trying to put all of that information in a 2 hour and 15-minute movie.
Yeah.
And it's just very hard to do. But to go off your point, Mike, like I was sitting there going, it was a press screening and there was, I don't know, 25 people in the room, maybe 30. And the hype, I felt like I was going to see The Force Awakens. I'm sitting there going, wow, I could feel the energy in this room.
Interesting.
For this film. And watching it, I was just transplanted. I was there. I was like there watching. I didn't even see it in IMAX. And I was there. And I'm like, I haven't felt like that for Star Wars in a really long time because, and I am on the side of it because I just constantly get disappointed in it going, oh, there's so many different, like the fan films sometimes, when you look at the fan films, it's like they seem like they get it better than what's going on at Lucasfilm.
I mean, I'm the same way across the board.
Yeah.
MCU, even DC to an extent. But DC bought itself some time because I knew we're rebooting and I knew it's going to be a couple of years and I will feel that excitement again. Marvel, I'm like, I'm not excited for any, like the Fantastic Four news casting was nice.
Yeah.
I'm not hyped for Deadpool 3. I know everyone is. I know everyone in the world is. The trailer didn't do anything. Like, the trailer for me, if they wouldn't have leaked everything and people taking pictures of everything and we saw Wolverine over him, standing over him in
That's
that
not
final
their fault,
shot.
though.
I know it's not.
Yeah.
I know it's not. But,
Yeah, that's such a bummer.
oh my God, that one. So for me, the trailer, they shouldn't have done that because it's like, I know what you're trying to do here. We all have seen the yellow costume. It doesn't do the hit you did. So for me, the trailer was just kind of like, whatever.
Yeah, I want to see Deadpool very much so.
I know you do.
I'm pumped for it, but I understand it because it's like, look, it's the same thing you said beforehand, Mike. With when you're putting when there's so much stuff coming out.
Yeah.
Marvel had stuff coming out though once, twice a year, and the hype was there. It's just the quality.
You look forward to it,
but the quality started to dip, and I think streaming and putting all the TV shows then
he was spread too. Maybe Feige was spread too thin, and maybe Favreau and Filoni are spread too thin. I don't know.
Yeah, the spread too thin part of it, Favreau and Filoni, they're not as involved. It's not like I said, I like Filoni a lot, and I think that at least they have someone now that is actually paying attention to the overall through line. My problem with Filoni is I think that Filoni is too caught up in the old kind of George Lucas way of things, and I don't mean just the story side of it, because George Lucas is the greatest storyteller of all time, one of them, and the way crafting the actual story itself, absolutely. But when you're trying to do the faster, quicker, more intense thing, and you're letting the dialogue be sacrificed, and certain things that, like, you look at Ahsoka, there's certain things in Ahsoka that it's like, it's just, like I said, it's just bad writing, like really bad writing. And that's the type of stuff that makes me nervous when you then compare it to like and this is hilarious because Denis Villeneuve, who I think captures dialogue incredibly in Dune, comes out with a statement.
I know. I love that statement.
And says,
good for him.
I hate dialogue.
Good for him.
He goes, I hate dialogue. If it was up to me, I'd never do dialogue ever again. I would just concentrate on the visuals.
Good for him.
But he gets a pass from me because he does dialogue extraordinarily well.
It's like Scorsese. I did this Twitter comment. I don't know if you saw it, where I was like, film Twitter's going, now we're going to turn on him just like they did Scorsese and Ridley Scott and everybody. These guys have earned the right to say stuff like that. And they're filmmakers. And I mean, hey, it's not wrong. You see Silent Night with John Woo?
No.
Great movie. Fun movie.
Okay.
I think it was a little bit about 20 years too late because of John Wick and everything. If he had made that movie 15 years ago, it would have hit much better.
Yeah.
But we'd seen it all in John Wick. It's John Wick without dialogue. And even those movies, though, there's so sparse dialogue. It's like...
Right. So, well, I
but
mean,
it's John Woo, so he gets a pass for me.
And it's not 1998 anymore.
Right.
Yeah. But I'm with you. I want to be as excited, and that's what I hope. I hope Because Acolyte, by the way, as we go back into what we were talking about earlier in the show, Acolyte is, from what they say, a lot of real location stuff.
I know.
And not a lot of volume stuff.
I know.
So if they, and the rumor is also that they're close to hour-long episodes. If these are close to hour-long episodes, 8 episodes, on location, with a Game of Thrones type feel,
Yeah.
then maybe they turn it around and you're like, whoa, holy, this is Andor and the Acolyte. They've got gold right now. And then they put out Mandalorian and Grogu, kick ass with that one. They can get back on track fast. They can do it. The question is, are they going to stay in that same mindset of what they've been doing? Time will tell. What do you guys think as far as Dune goes? How many people are excited for Dune? How many people are going to see it this weekend? We're going to do a full episode tomorrow with Roxy, myself, and Brett about whether or not we think it can hit $1 billion. Yeah, go ahead, Mike.
I'm just so curious. I just, like, someone shot a screenshot of like the 4 AMC theaters and they're mobbed. I was like, yeah. And The Flash was that on opening weekend too, or like the opening night.
What do you mean? No, it wasn't. It wasn't.
Flash. If you would have taken a
packed?
if you would have taken a screenshot of like on the AMC A list of the 4 big AMC theaters,
was the Flash? Okay,
you would get a sold out. Like, these are the people going this weekend that are the diehard Dune fans.
Sure.
You've got to get the people.
Word of mouth.
3 weeks from now that are like, I've heard everything about this. I'm in that middle group. Like, I love movies. I would see it eventually, but I'm not going to rush out opening weekend to see it. But I'm getting more and more hyped about it.
When are you going to watch it first?
After this weekend. I've been doing some studying stuff I had to do.
Okay, not for the Shmodown.
No, but very similar.
Really?
I felt like it again. It's a job. And,
okay.
But last night I had my notes out on the script, and she's like, "What are you doing? Look at you. You're already taking notes on this movie, and you're pausing it." And I was like, "I know." She's like, "You're back in the Showdown again." I was like, "I know." I'm like, I was like, Jurassic. There's 8 dinosaurs that they started with, and I'm like,
look. I hope the job works out. All right, throw your comments in there and let us know what you think. Gotta tell you about AG1 and the Perfect Gene. Excited to be working about both of them. Here you go. AG1. I love AG1. You guys know I love AG1. I've been talking about AG1. I got Riley now. Riley's on the AG1. He loves it because it is what you need to do. I'm not a vitamins guy. I've never been a big vitamins guy because there's just too many of them. You got to take 75 million in order to be all caught up. Do it all in one shot, because taking care of your health, it's not always easy, but it's got to be simple. So you guys know, over the last 2 years, I've been drinking it every day, no exceptions. It's easy. It's 1 scoop. You mix it in water, and it makes me feel great. And it gives me all my dose of vitamins. I just dig it. And I completely trust it, and I've been trusting it, so I've been raving about it forever. I know what I'm getting. I'm getting the essential brain, the gut, the immune health support with the vitamins, the probiotics, the nutrients from the whole foods. I think of it as a nutritional insurance, because I know I'm covering my bases right from the start of the day. It's so good. I shake it up in a bottle of water. It's awesome. And if it's one product that I would recommend to elevate your health, it is AG1. And that's why I've partnered with them for so long. So take ownership of your health and start with AG1. You got to try AG1. You get a free 1-year supply of vitamin D3 and K2 and 5 free AG1 travel packs with your first purchase, exclusively at drinkag1.com/bigthing. drinkag1.com/bigthing. I love the Perfect Gene. I was so lucky. The other day they had sent me these jeans and I put them on, and man, they are comfortable. They are really, really comfortable. So if you didn't know about them, the problem is a lot of times you have these kind of rough and rigid jeans. I did, and they crush your nuts. That's what they do. Because if you're wearing oversized jeans, they kind of make you a laughing stock at the office, at the bar. Is your significant other tired of you wearing sweats or khakis because you hate wearing jeans? Well, that's why today's sponsor, The Perfect Gene, finally solved all of your denim difficulties. They make great-looking, perfect-fitting jeans that are comfortable as sweatpants. And the secret? A special denim fabric that's super soft and has the perfect amount of stretch so you can squat, do yoga, or just sit around all day, and you don't want to take them off. They make 6 different fits. They're from skinny to thick, and they have a waist from 26 to 50, lengths from 26 to 38, big boys, short kings, tall dudes, and all the rest. They got you. Now, for a limited time, our listeners are going to get 15% off their first order plus free shipping at theperfectgene.nyc, or you Google The Perfect Gene and use that code BIGTHING15 for 15% off. So I really, for me, I've got to have a comfortable jean. I've really got to, I got to feel like I'm almost, I can move in them, and I don't feel like, scrunched up. And these things they're really, they deliver on what they're promising. They're comfortable. They're stretchy. I can move around. They really fit well. It's great. So it's finally topped. You got to stop crushing your balls, guys. And in those uncomfortable jeans, you go to theperfectjean.nyc, and our listeners are going to have 15% off your first order, free shipping, free returns, free exchanges. You got to use that code BIGTHING15 at checkout. So that's 15% off for new customers at theperfectjean.nyc with promo code BIGTHING15. After your purchase, they'll ask you where you heard about them. Please support our show and tell them that we sent you. Fuck your khakis and get the perfect jean. All right, AG1, I've told you about. I got Riley on it now. I got Roke on it. Steph's on it. I got everybody on AG1. Everybody loves AG1. You guys know it. Make sure you get them. We want them to come back. I put all of the links in the description for all of our sponsors and the perfect jean. Right?
I had some jean problems this weekend. Didn't you see my tweets?
No,
to
I didn't
Express?
see. Did they? What happened? Did it
Okay,
split?
so I found a very good pair of jeans. If I'm a guy, like if I find a pair of jeans that works, that's my jean forever. Yeah. I was always a Levi's guy. Levi's slim fit. My buddy guy's like, try these Express jeans. They got a little bit of spandex in them. And I tried them on. They were slim style, slim. I was like, these are fantastic. So when you buy jeans, do you buy like, hey, that's my size, that's the style, and you don't have to try them on, you just know? Right. So they had a special at the holidays. I went and bought a blue, like the one I'm wearing right now.
Yeah. Well, no, those are
and then
perfect.
a light blue.
Show that. Yeah.
I hadn't had tried the light blue on yet. I was just like, they were like a spring jean. I put them on the other day. These things were skinny jeans. But the label said slim. I laid them up on top of each other. The pant leg opening is like a half-inch bigger. The side is coming out.
Not for perfect jeans.
So I was just like, and the store's like, well, it's past the 30-day refund. And I was like, I've got all the tags. I don't wear them once.
Perfect jean. I'll hook you up. I was super. They're super comfortable. I love them. They're great.
Hook me up.
I will. All right, let's move on. Got another thing. Here we go. All right, Steph, you watched The Last Airbender.
Yes.
How many are you into so far?
I finished it.
You finished. How many episodes was it? 10?
8.
8. And thoughts?
I liked it.
Did you?
Yes.
Okay.
It's not a 1-for-1, and I'm
because you were
happy
nervous about it.
Yes, I was.
Yeah.
And I actually kudos to the direction, because I think that I understand why they did what they did. A lot of it is I'm excited if there's a season 2 because it's setting it up for kind of a grander tale. But I really liked it. I feel bad for the people who don't, but I think if you were expecting a 1-to-1, then yeah, you'd be disappointed.
What do you think? You think I would dig it?
I think so.
Okay.
I think you should watch it with Vivi, maybe.
She liked the animated series, so maybe I will. But because that one is one I'm going to start to watch. I was going to do reactions to it, but then I didn't have the time for it, and then I saw people it was just kind of like back and forth.
Yeah,
and
I know, but I think a lot of the back and forth was the people who loved the animated series, which I did, but I just didn't have a problem with
the changes.
Yeah, the changes. I actually appreciated it, especially for a wider audience. And the actors are really cute. So there's like 1 or 2 where I'm like, not like cute like that. They're adorable. They're kids.
I know.
Yeah, I think it's just an adorable story, and there's a lot of heart to it, and it looks good. It looks really good.
All right, I'll have to. I will check it out. It's one of the things I want to check out. But the thing that I'm going to what's up?
Aren't you gonna ask me if I watched it?
Hey, Mike, did you watch it?
No.
Okay.
Just not for me. I've tried the cartoon.
Yeah,
it's not for me.
Okay. Yeah,
I didn't.
fine.
That's why I didn't ask you. Before I even do that, though, I still want to finish True Detective. I haven't finished True Detective, but my next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to finish. I'm going to start watching Shogun. I hear great things about Shogun. How many episodes?
2 dropped last night.
Okay.
The 2-episode premiere. It's a slow burn, but it is fantastic. Talk about shooting like really real on location. It just looks. I want to move to Japan.
Yeah.
It's dark.
People are comparing it to Game of Thrones.
Totally.
Yeah.
That's what it's setting up for. It's just taking its time setting up the characters. And I didn't know it was going to be all in Japanese, basically.
Oh, is it really?
Yeah. So that I think is why it's a little slower for me to be like, okay, he's him. Like, so I'm trying to.
Yeah, but you're locked in.
I'm locked in.
Roka loved it too. Roka was raving about it.
There's some scenes where I'm like, oh, you guys are evil.
Okay. All right. So it's Game of Thrones style. I've heard that. I was going to start watching that last night because you told me about the trailer, and then Roka was raving about it, and then I saw all online people were just saying this is like the best new show of the year.
Yeah.
And people are loving this show.
I think it is.
Yeah. And then how about I forget? Do you guys watch The Bear?
Yes.
Did you hear that? I didn't even know this. Do you know that Bear season 3 is coming out this year now?
No.
Yeah. They announced it like the other day. They're like in June.
What?
Yeah, it's like dropping. It's dropping this year. That House of the Dragon. Like, there's one other one that I can't remember what it was. It's something that I really want to see. But that's crazy that show. That, like, I don't know which one I'm more excited at, House of the Dragon or that one.
Oh,
and
yeah.
then the Acolyte's the other one. All in
Right.
June. I think they're all in June.
Really?
I think so.
Okay.
I think so.
That's great.
I could definitely be wrong about that, but I think that they're all
the
coming.
Bears
But they're
You're always
So
wrong.
good.
So
yeah. Well, I was wrong about you. I thought you were going to be good on this show. So let's keep
Bummer.
going. See, that's what I like about Mike. He respects it. He respects it.
can't make fun of yourself. What are you doing in life?
100%.
Yeah,
All right.
man.
All right. Next one. Let's talk about inflated budgets.
Oh man.
Well, and when I say that, it's just rumors going around about the new Superman movie. Someone said that the movie costs a lot of money already, and people are talking about the actual budget itself. And the headline on Comic Book Movie is Superman Legacy director James Gunn debunks a wild rumor about the movie's massive budget. Superman Legacy writer, director, and DC Studios co-CEO James Gunn has laughed off crazy rumors about the reboot's budget and teases even more DCU announcements being somewhere on the horizon. Josh Wilding. Cameras will begin rolling on Superman Legacy any day now, and while we'd like to think that this means that set photos will offer a first look at the new Man of Steel, there's no guarantee. The excitement surrounding James Gunn's reboot is palpable, and the future of the DCU may well hinge on the movie's success. It's been a long time since moviegoers were treated to a truly great Superman adventure in theaters, so the hero could prove to be a tough sell. It's fortunate, then, that Warner Bros. Discovery and DC Studios are keeping the budget under control. There have been some wild rumors on social media lately that Superman Legacy will cost over $364 million, making it one of the most expensive comic book movies ever. To that, Gunn recently said, absolutely not. How in the world do they think they know what our budget is? While we're guessing that Superman Legacy won't be cheap, the fact is it doesn't include any pricey A-list stars, and it'll help greatly when it comes to keeping costs under control. The most expensive DC movie to date is 2017's Justice League. The budget for that ballooned to upwards $300 million. But if you add in what it costs to finish the Snyder Cut, the sum becomes truly eye-watering. In related news, another fan asked Gunn if more DCU projects were announced at this year's San Diego Comic-Con or during some sort of live stream. And James Gunn said those are our only two options. All right, so we have some news. First, let's talk about the budget.
Yeah.
So I think that this movie, because it's Superman, like I'd want to see this movie made for $120 million. There's no world where that's going to happen. I'd say $200 million. So the thing is, it'll probably cost $200 million. And I get it. It's Superman. You're running with the IP, and you need to go big. 200 should be the limit. You should not go over 200 million for this movie. What do you think, Steph?
Yeah, I agree with you. I think most people are pretty much using Indiana Jones as the reference point of what not to do right now. So I don't know. I really trust James Gunn. I don't think that he's a person that overutilizes a budget.
Right. What do you think, Mike? You think it's because you're a DC guy? Do you think this movie needs to hit?
It's so tough. Like the original article, like no person knows the budget of this movie.
Right.
No one does.
Right.
But it's all throwing things. It's clicks. You know, to hear that thing. And again, on a movie, like when you think of a budget, like I've been a part of a movie where a friend of mine was a stunt guy coming on the movie. They flew him first class, put him up in a 4-star hotel. Like that doesn't need to happen. You fly coach.
Right.
You stay at the local Holiday Inn.
Right.
But because unions and contracts, that's where budgets come into.
Yeah.
It's not just
That's a great point.
the effects on a movie. It's so much more.
Yeah.
The catering. If they've got great catering versus lobster thermidor on the set versus hamburgers and ribs.
Right.
There's so much. So when you're talking budget
It's a great
and looking
point.
at
It's
where
not brought up enough.
Yeah, so it's like that's where you like. They have no big star. I bet Corn Sweat didn't even make 100 million or 1 million for this.
No way.
He's making probably 500,000 to 650
For
with options.
movie one. For movie
with
one.
options
Right.
for we will 100% increase you for 2 and 3.
Depends on who his agent is. But I think you're
Yeah.
right. But it depends on who his agent is. If the agent's playing ball, because the agent is a lot of time responsible for the budget going up.
Yeah, I'll bet Brosnahan is making more than him on this.
I bet you're right. As
100%.
She should.
Absolutely,
She should. Yeah, she's
Absolutely.
more recognizable name.
And I'll bet her agent wanted her top billing. I'll bet they push for it. And they're like,
you're probably not wrong.
he's making less, but he's Superman. He's getting top billing.
Yeah.
She's a multi-Emmy winner.
Of course.
Right.
She's the bigger star.
She's the more recognizable.
100%.
But then the argument could be like, yeah, but it's Superman.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
So it's going to be, but the point is made. It's not the cast that's going to balloon this thing. Now the sequels, who knows? But they got to get to a place. I think a safe number for them to make money on this thing is 150 to 160.
I was gonna say 180.
Yeah, I mean that's probably where it's gonna hit. That 180 200 is probably what they're gonna do.
Yeah.
I just think a safe number is 150 because if you make 400 million on the thing, then at least you can pack up and go home.
Well, and what I like about Gunn too is his money is on the screen. Like when he makes a film, you see the budget on the screen.
Yeah.
It's never like, even Guardians 1, which probably had a smaller budget. Looks great. You know?
I wonder what the budget was for Guardians 3. Let's see.
Not Guardians 3. Look at Guardians 1.
Okay.
Look at what they gave him for an unknown superhero film.
The budget was 232 million for Guardians 1, and Part 3 was 250. So he's used to using, and Mike's not wrong. What's going on there? You're making good points.
That's right, buddy. But you didn't want me on the show.
I know, but you're making good points. But he knows how to utilize his budget.
Yeah.
He does. He knows how to use it. It's just I'm just in this spot right now. It's so much so that every time a report comes out about movies' budgets, people are tagging me on X now because of it. Because I'm like, because the Gladiator 3 thing is ridiculous. Joker 2 ridiculous.
To my point, like the Indy, 350 or whatever,
360.
You know that film with the money that they were spending for the cast and crew, wherever they were.
Yeah,
that ballooned that thing up.
Of course. And then you also have got Harrison Ford and other people inside of the. But that movie though was absolutely. You're not outside of the things of travel and all that and the catering. You're right, but. They also spent so much on big set pieces that Indiana Jones didn't need, like big things, like that whole ending in the planes. That's like stuff out of a Marvel movie, and it's in the Indiana Jones, and you're like, you don't need that because Indiana Jones is the small scenes in the Last Crusade are the stuff that you remember, like just him in a cave with a knight. That's it. That's the stuff you remember.
Yeah,
and this stuff, that stuff, what they did, they just didn't utilize the budget.
Yeah.
So the other side of it is the announcements. Now, Zoloft said the same thing on the call that there's more stuff coming.
Yeah,
I think this is dangerous. Well,
I see what you're saying. Yeah,
get Superman out first.
I know what you're saying.
Get Superman first before you start making announcements, because if Superman eats it, your plans are going away.
You're not wrong.
All your plans are done if Superman bombs.
You're not wrong.
So, I mean, unless some of the rumors were that some of the announcements were like the Supergirl cast, and okay, that's fine. We already got Millie Alcock knowing that she's going to do it, so that's fine. But don't start announcing new movies unless it's Batman, because Batman is another proven IP.
It's tough because this is chapter 1. And he announced the 10 things, but then he said there's more that's coming in chapter 1. Right. So 10 things are a lot.
It's a lot.
And we still don't know anything outside of the Supergirl, Creature Commandos.
Or if anyone will care.
Yeah. But also, you're going to start announcing Batman stuff, and the Batman 2 starts filming soon. So you're going to...
I know, you're going to cross over, and you got Penguin coming out.
It's tough. I think that comes out this year.
I think so. That's maybe the
That's what I'm excited for. You want to talk a TV show that I'm excited for.
Penguin. Really
great.
Kidding me?
Yeah, for sure.
Get out of here with that nonsense.
What do you think about the budget, about the announcements, all of it?
Yeah, like I said, I just trust James Gunn, so I'm really excited to see what he does. I agree. I'm not into the huge announcements before you actually pull out a few of them first.
Like Star Wars.
Right. Yeah. Because it's just, I mean, that's probably why we feel burned about it. But I think it's just not necessary. And he's usually pretty, I don't know, he's such a showman, so I do trust it.
Yeah. And then do you think that there's going to be any big announcements that you're excited for with DC?
I don't know. I'm not as big into the undercover the less popular characters, I should say.
All right, I'm going to give you a less popular decision, and then we're going to call it a day.
Okay.
All right, I'm going to talk about this Netflix thing. Netflix is tipped to raise prices once again. Netflix is expected to once again raise its prices this year on its streaming plans in a bid to accelerate revenue and earnings for growth. That's the assessment from analysts at UBS Securities, who in a research note released today, we expect to see rate increases this year. Combined with an increase in revenue from its ad-supported tier and subscriber gains, it's estimated that Netflix's total revenue growth in 2024 will be 15% per analyst estimates, up from 7% last year. Netflix's last price hike was in October, when its plan went from $9.99 to $11.99 in the United States. UK and France also saw price increases at the time. The streamer hasn't announced any plans to increase subscription prices in 2024. UBS says structural changes in the streaming space recently are benefiting Netflix, from platform consolidation and content spending cuts to a renewed interest in licensing. Netflix will reportedly benefit from studios shifting importance from subscriber growth to profitability. Netflix added 29.5 million new subscribers in 2023. They had a good year. And it's funny when everyone's like, oh, all these streamers are coming out, Netflix ain't going to be the champ anymore. Well, they still are, because Netflix is making these other moves. They had the SAG Awards on the other day, and they've got sporting events. They're going to have WWE.
That's what they got. The WWE is what they got.
They got WWE. They got all these different things that they're changing up their stuff. So with the announcement of WWE, with the announcement of all these things, I think a spike in it was coming. I just feel like Netflix, because they have so much that people want to watch. I remember saying, because at one point I was like, I don't think I watch Netflix that much, enough to where I would care if I canceled it and then got it back when I wanted to see Stranger Things or something else. I pitched that in my household. You might as well said that I was going to unload 75 pounds of dog shit in my living room, because they all looked at me like, are you crazy? Like my little one watches whatever she watches on it. She watches Ninjago and all these other things she watches. My oldest watches all these shows on Netflix, like that Mindy Kaling show that was on for a little bit. She's watching that now. And my wife watches tons of stuff. They all were like, no, you're not getting rid of Netflix. So I was like, well, there you go. So Netflix could charge $20 a month and people are going to pay for it. I don't think they're going to lose a lot of people. Am I wrong?
No, if I knew for a fact they were paying their writers and the staff more,
after the strikes,
hopefully a little bit, yeah, according to plan. But I don't think it's almost like they went up in that, so they have to go up in this.
That's exactly what it is.
Yeah, so that just sucks that we have to pay the price of it.
That's what it. That's basically that's what was said in the room.
It's like with fast food workers, where they get a raise, and then the prices go up and stuff.
The food, it makes sense.
Yeah,
it's like if I'm running a business and I'm like, okay, look, they struck, we've got to pay them. How are we going to pay them? Only way we can. We got to change our prices.
I find it's interesting. Netflix to me has kind of become like Disney in Orlando, in the sense that this theme park, when you go to Orlando, Disney wants it to be like you don't go anywhere else. You get off that plane at MCO, they got shuttles taking you to the Disney property. Then you don't have to leave the property. Like Netflix is doing that, where it's like everything you want, we're gonna have. Like for me, I love like The Gray Man, The Heart of Stone, which is the Gal Gadot action movie. Like I just turned that on the other night. I've seen it 3 or 4 times. It's a cool action movie.
I like the movie too. Yeah.
Mother with Jennifer Lopez.
Wait,
Heart of Stone was Gal Gadot. Gray
Man's the one. Ryan
Gosling and
I like that
Chris
one.
Evans.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
So they're making things I love that studios aren't making anymore. The $30-40 million action movie that's not an IP. But now the SAG Awards, I'm not an awards guy anymore. I used to be, but SAG Awards I watched.
Yeah.
And I enjoyed it because I love that it's actors celebrating actors.
But you also know you can fast forward through it.
Yeah, it's on Netflix.
I'll tell you, I think we had this conversation last time, and I don't know if Roxy agrees with me or disagrees with me, but we've had this many times over. The Oscars should be on streaming.
Oh, absolutely.
Every award show should be on streaming. We're not in 1975 anymore, where people are just tuning into 7 news stations, and then that's the one station that has the award show and this glamorized thing. There's 80 billion different type of things.
Right.
Put it on a streaming service. You don't need to be on
And what's
ABC.
interesting too, I think in that report it said they gain subscribers. Disney's losing subscribers. Disney Plus, they're losing every year.
Disney's had a very different approach, and
it's crazy.
I think in a wrong way though too, because Disney, and I'm not talking about whether or not, and it's the same way that I feel that the fandoms have been politicized, right? I think Disney took a stance in general. And I'm not saying whether you agree or disagree with their stance. I think that they've taken a stance with a lot of things inside of their programming. And I think that what you're going to do is you're going to get people who are like, good, I'm sticking with you. I'm going to do it. That's because you're speaking my language. And you're going to get other people who are going, well, I don't really agree with the way that you're pushing this particular thing. So I'm going to move over here. And they're going to leave.
But do you mean because like I look at all the streaming networks and like Disney, Willow, gone.
Well, that is a bad. This is a
Like,
bad
why
show.
would you do that though? It was always bad.
The first, I thought it got better. I thought it got better at one point, but then it was bad. I thought the acting was pretty bad. I thought it just wasn't a good show. It wasn't a good written show.
There's been a couple not so great Marvel shows. They're still on there.
Marvel's a more established brand than Willow.
I just saw that the people that love the film. I mean, the first film's not good.
I like the first film.
Come on now.
I
had to watch it ad nauseum because of you many times.
I like the first film. I like it, and I think that with
you are a great swordsman.
I think if that
Val
movie,
is fucking awesome.
I think if that movie was made with kind of today's budget the same way, it would be a very different film.
So they took it off because it's not good. That's why they took it off.
I mean, and the ratings.
They never said.
No, I mean the ratings weren't.
But
good.
still, it's made. Why is it not just leaving on there?
I don't understand why they didn't leave it on. That's
I get
true.
Not a season 2.
Yeah, I don't get.
But why would you take it off?
I don't understand.
Are you that embarrassed? Is it like a Batgirl where you're like,
it's not that.
No, it's not that.
It's not that kind of bad.
Okay,
No.
So I don't know. I mean, I don't know the answer to your question, but I was saying it's not that. Like, if that was the reason,
yeah,
I'm like, why? It wasn't. It's not good, but it's not enough to go pull that immediately. It's just not good.
Okay. Yeah. I don't know. I'm just asking.
There's other stuff on there that's just as bad that's still on there.
Yeah. Right.
I'd love to get. That's a great question. That never really happened, so I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know why that happened. I don't know. All right. What say you guys? Do you think of the Netflix subscriptions? Do you think that they're going to? Would you pay for it if it goes up? And don't just say no. Think about it, because a lot of people you make that kind of stance and go no. But yeah.
Last night when I saw it, I was like, I'm done. But now talking with you, of all the streaming ones, that's the one I go to.
Right. You'd probably cancel something else in order to pay the Netflix.
I'd probably cancel Disney.
Right, because you don't watch it enough, right?
I don't watch it enough.
Yeah,
I'll go and get it when I want to watch a couple
of the shows. Right. That's.
I don't watch Disney's library at all.
But my kids. It's that's the other one with Bluey and everything else going on. There's no chance that one gets canceled. But that's what I'm talking about. Where there's certain things. I think Amazon, Apple, they're doing it well. There's a lot of different things still and the whole game.
Well, Amazon's. Because you get Prime and the shipping.
Everything. Yeah.
They keep raising that every year, too.
But I don't like what they did, Prime. I don't like what they did at all. The commercials? The commercials.
But, I
pay for Prime.
But I agree. We're paying like, what, $150, $60 a year? But from what I understand, I've been watching a lot. It's at the beginning of it.
Yeah,
they're not in the middle.
No, it pops up a couple times.
No, I watched Reacher. And I didn't see a commercial in it.
I was watching Mr. and Mrs. Smith. It happened like there was
during the episode.
I don't remember that.
Yeah, they're at the beginning.
I'm making that up. I don't know.
You're making it up. You're so probably used to commercials.
Maybe. I don't know.
Yeah.
All right, Steph, where can they find you?
At Steph Sabraw and the World Girls.
Michael.
At Mike Kalinowski.
Thank you guys for joining us. As always, that one. Hit the subscribe button. Help us get to 200,000 faster than we got to 100. Apple Podcasts, Spotify. As I mentioned, if you're into the UAP phenomenon, you want to know more about it, we're going to start doing daily content on the brand new channel. It is called Down to Earth with Kristian Harloff, and that is going to be available with all new content coming up next week. You can subscribe to it now, but it'll be available all next week with content. So thanks for joining us here today. For Mike and Steph, I'm me. You're you.